And more lined up for you at this particular hour on KTN News Desk. A very good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Akisa Wandera. Now, present Miguna Miguna in court by 2:30 p.m. today. That is the order given by Justice Geroge Odunga to Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i. Justice Geroge Odunga has ordered that court orders be obeyed and that Miguna Miguna should be placed under the custody of the court. Odunga said the Department of Immigration did not show any reason why the court order was not obeyed this morning. However, the lawyer representing the Department of Immigration was tongue-tied when Justice Odunga asked him why it is impossible to present the applicant as required by 7 court orders. The lawyer says that the applicant was still being held at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport because he cannot be allowed into the country. Miguna's lawyers were demanding that the government should not be accorded audience until the applicant is presented in court.
Order has not been complied with by the respondents, who contend that they need time to process the petitioner and to apply to set aside the said orders. In my view, the effect of the orders issued herein were to place the petitioner under the custody of this court unless further orders were issued. The issue of processing the applicant does not arise. I have listened to Mr. Mutida, learned counsel for the respondent, and nothing in his submission convinces me that there is any difficulty in complying with Aburili J's orders. Nothing stops the respondent from making the application notwithstanding compliance with the said court orders. A party who leaves the court premises with an order of the court must be assured that the same will be obeyed by those to whom it is directed, and unless the same is complied with, or for some reason the respondent satisfies the court that the order is incapable of being complied with, the court will, where the continued disobedience renders it impossible to proceed with the matter, deny the person in default audience. The court ordered that these proceedings do proceed in the presence of the petitioner. Unless and until the court varies the said order, the inter partes hearing cannot proceed due to actions or inactions of the respondent. It is therefore my view that the respondents have disobeyed the court orders as at now. However, as the order was served yesterday, I direct that this matter will be stood over to 2:30 p.m. today. I further direct that the respondents do facilitate the petitioner's safe passage to this court, and I also direct the first, second, and third respondents to appear before this court at 2:30 p.m. in person for further orders, and those further orders will be made their absence notwithstanding. For avoidance of doubt, Aburili J's orders must be complied with before 2:30 p.m. today. In the meantime, the respondents are denied right of audience before this court.
Well, so our reporter Shadrach Miti has been in court all morning following up on these proceedings for us as they happen. And of course, leading to when Justice Odunga made the particular orders. I want us now to speak to Shadrach Miti to just tell us what went down at the courts in the morning. A very good afternoon to you, Shadrach. Thank you very much for joining us. All right. Very good afternoon to you, Shadrach. Thank you very much for joining us. This is a particular case that went on all morning. What are some of the arguments that were being presented by lawyers in court?
Thank you very much. We have been here since morning trying to follow up the matter of Miguna Miguna being brought before Judge Geroge Odunga, who was to hear the orders issued yesterday by Judge Roslyn Aburuli, who ordered that Mr. Miguna be produced before court today by 9 o'clock in the morning for the proceedings filed by the by Miguna himself, who is now the petitioner in this matter, to continue. But that never happened. And so we've been in court listening to presentations from both sides. That is Miguna Miguna's lawyers, led by senior counsel Dr. John Haminwa, James Orengo, and many others, and against state presented by Mr. Japheth Mutinda from the Attorney General's office. And so the key points of argument in this matter were that why hasn't Miguna been produced in court even after the judge ordered so yesterday? But now the defense by the state was that the orders issued were issued very late and they were served very late, so it was not very easy for them to effect the orders and to act upon them as expected. But again, they brought in another argument saying, were they good to go ahead to act upon the orders issued by Justice Roslyn Aburili, and then it will be contravening earlier orders issued by Justice Chacha Mwita, orders upon which the return of Miguna Miguna was effected. Now, according to those the orders that were issued by Judge Chacha Mwita, Miguna Miguna was to come back to Kenya using the Canadian visa and passport, but that one did not happen according to the state lawyers. And so, but on the other hand, defense lawyers are saying that Miguna Miguna is a Kenyan, and so he need not to have been subjected to such humiliation. He ought to have come back to Kenya using primary identification documents like the national identity card and the national Kenyan passport. And so, as the argument proceeded, now Justice Odunga ordered that by today, 2:30, that's about 1.5 hours to come, the state must ensure that that is the respondents must ensure that Interior Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i and the Director of Immigration Services Gordon Gihalangwa are appearing in person before him to explain circumstances under which Miguna Miguna has not been produced before court and why they have seemed to be runaway disregard of court orders. But above that, the lawyers representing Miguna Miguna have informed the court that this matter ought to now consider looking beyond Miguna Miguna. And they have informed the court and requested even Judge Odunga to consider this matter as a test to the authority of the courts and the judiciary in general, asking him that if by 2:30 the state will not have produced Miguna Miguna as it was ordered to, then the court must consider prosecuting the lawyers who might have been participated in ensuring that the court orders have been played in contempt, and that again the court must consider placing sanctions against state or any state organ that have in the past and currently been perceived to play against the court orders. And so those are some of the issues we've been following. Many others are expected to unfold later, but the major ruling on what now to expect out of here will be coming at 2:30 when the court reconvene to hear the final submissions, and thereafter Judge Odunga will be issuing orders and directions as to where this matter will be ending. Back to you, studio.
Shadrach, thank you. I believe you're staying put at the courts until 2:30. So Shadrach Miti will continue to give us details on how things are at the court once we get to 2:30. I want us to now quickly join or speak to Otiende Amolo, who's one of the lawyers for Miguna Miguna. He was in court this morning. A very good afternoon to you. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us here on KTN News Desk. Do you believe that Miguna Miguna will be presented in court at 2:30 p.m.?
Well, thank you. Insofar as we are in a country that is guided by the Constitution, a country that is guided by the rule of law, we believe that because the order that Justice Odunga made very clear, very, very clear and beyond peradventure, we believe that Miguna will be produced in court at 2:30. But even as we believe so, we know that we are in a situation where the government has failed to abide by the court orders at least twice before, and which is why we told the court But now it's no longer about Miguna. It is the courts themselves that are on trial. It is justice on trial. And unless the court can put down its feet and ensure compliance with its orders, then there will be no incentive for anyone in this country to obey any court order. So yes, we believe and hope that he will be brought up to that.
In the event that he's not presented in court, what would be your plan? Because this has happened before, where the court has ordered for something like this to happen and it did not. What is the plan for you as lawyers for Miguna Miguna?
There are three levels on this. First of all, you will remember that the court did not only order that Miguna Miguna be brought to court, the court did order that three others also appear in court. Dr. Matiang'i, the CS, the PS, the Kihalangwa, and Boynet, the IG. And so if they don't bring Miguna for any reason, then it means that the other three ought to be in court. And if they are in court, then they will have to answer to the court directly why they did not bring Miguna. And therefore, it is open to the court first to find any of them in contempt and sentence them to serve a jail term. Secondly, it is open to the court to decide that because its orders are not being enforced, it will then now visit the locus in quo, visit where Miguna is and ensure he's released. So that is an option. Thirdly, it is open to the court to give such further orders, including deciding that that particular court will not entertain any other application or any other proceeding from the government on that issue. But institutionally, I think that it is time that the court took a collective view of this rather than an individual view. If court orders are continuously disobeyed from individual courts, I think the time has come for the institution of the judiciary to determine that they will no longer entertain any cases brought by the state in which the Attorney General is a party, and they will no longer give any orders in favor of the state, even where they want the court to act. Because unless we can get to that level, then the court will be held in vain.
So then, since yesterday, has any of the lawyers set eyes on Miguna Miguna?
Since yesterday, we have not set eyes on him. The most we have done is that we have communicated by phone, because while we as lawyers were barred from accessing him, and so far he's also been barred from accessing any medical attention, he has been barred from accessing amenities, even like the basic amenities. He's being held incommunicado. But fortunately, one officer of the Kenya Human Rights Commission has been able to access him by virtue of the earlier court order that directed that the commission facilitate his re-entry. And so we were able to speak to him through that officer, but we have not set eyes on him. We've only spoken to him. He tells us that he's being held in deplorable circumstances. In fact, he claims he's being held